Welcome to Khwai in Northern Botswana. This private concession on the eastern edge of the Okavango Delta is my second stop on my several-week safari expedition across Northern Botswana. We'll be staying here for 4 nights with my ultimate goal to see Botswana's big cats and the extremely endangered African wild dog. For the past 3 nights, we have been in Moremi Game Reserve in the heart of the Okavango Delta. We've had some incredible wildlife sightings here, including a beautiful male leopard at sunset and an intense elephant sighting. But we didn't see any lions, cheetahs or wild dogs. As we head to Khwai Community Area, which is just to the northeast of Moremi, I remain hopeful that perhaps here we'll get to view Botswana's elusive predators. We enter Khwai through Moremi's North Gate and cross the Khwai River. We briefly pass through Khwai Village. Khwai Concession is owned by the native San people who live in this village. From here, it's just a short drive to our campsite. We have just arrived at our new camp. Got a nice little welcome drink and look at the scenery. We are looking out over some water, some kind of marshlands, and it is just so beautiful. And then yeah, here's our little dining area and the tents are behind. We're on a mobile camping safari, which means our camp is transported from location to location by our amazing team. Our tents are spacious, with full-sized, comfortable beds and our own ensuite bathroom. We have a bucket shower which is topped up daily with hot water, a long drop toilet and a basin. The camp also consists of a dining area and a kitchen, which I'll give you a full tour of later on. But for now, as the sun sets, it's time to warm ourselves by the fire and settle down for some dinner. Backing up my footage and I'm scared of moths, and lo and behold, there's a moth. Okay. We then retire early to our tents as we have an extremely exciting day planned for tomorrow. The following day, we're up at 5:30 and promptly leave camp after breakfast an hour later. As the sun rises over the landscape, we spot our first animal of the day, a Tesabay antelope. Shortly, followed by a warthog who's foraging for roots. We pause on the banks of a tributary, which is alive with the sound of birds. A red-billed hornbill is singing in a dead tree just above us, whilst a hammerkop searches for a meal in the water. A saddle-billed stork stands nearby, carefully preening its feathers. We continue our search for predators, and I can't believe it. We found a lioness. She's got a fresh injury on her nose, suggesting she may have suffered a kick to the face, most likely whilst attempting to hunt this morning. We watch as she begins to stalk something, quietly melting into the bushes. We try to catch up with her, but on the other side of the bushes, we discover that she's not alone. Another lioness is resting nearby. The 2 lionesses are from the same pride and are possibly a mother and daughter duo, as this lioness appears quite a bit younger than the first that we encountered. She's alert, scanning the bushes for signs of prey. It's clear that the lionesses are on the hunt. And then, they're up. The younger lioness takes the lead, pausing momentarily to sharpen her claws. I'll refer to her as the lead lioness from now on. She crosses the road right in front of us, shortly followed by the second lioness. Their journey leads them to a shady bush where they pause to rest. Our guide, who has been leading safaris in Botswana for many years and has a deep understanding of wildlife behaviour, advises us to wait with the lions, confident that they won't be resting for long as they still seem alert. And so we wait, which really is no chore. It's taken us 4 days to find lions, so I want to hang on to this moment for as long as I can. Suddenly, the lead lioness stirs, her gaze fixed on something in the distance. I follow her gaze to see a herd of waterbuck, a young calf amongst them. She begins to stalk forward, her full attention on the hunt. As she gets nearer, she discovers an obstacle blocking her path. A stream is separating her from her quarry. As she pauses to plan her next move, the waterbuck spots her. They march towards her, snorting, trying to intimidate her. The element of surprise now lost, she gives up the hunt and slinks away. Now that their presence is known here, the lionesses aren't keen to stick around and cross a tributary onto an island. Along with some other vehicles, we decide to follow. But whilst all the other vehicles head in one direction, our guide takes us in the opposite one. Our guide selects a spot to wait. I'm in complete disbelief as immediately the lions make an appearance. I can't believe he knew exactly where they'd appear from. What makes this moment even better is the fact that we're the only ones here. Currently just tracking two lionesses through a thick bush. We're trying to see where they go if they try to cross the river. We're following them along the waterline. It's been so amazing being so close to them. It's quite incredible. And to see them on the go like this, and it's also such a beautiful area. The lionesses stroll with purpose, hugging the waterline as they go. Our guide thinks they're interested in crossing the Khwai River, presumably in search of the rest of the pride, but are looking for the narrowest place to cross. They frequently stop to smell their surroundings and sometimes encounter an interesting scent, most likely the scents of the rest of the pride, which tell them that they're on the right path. They encounter a small stream blocking their path. This time, however, they don't hesitate to get their paws wet, determined to follow the trail of their pride mates. After tracking the lionesses for 3 hours into the late morning, we decide to leave them as they settle down. Lions tend to sleep through the hottest parts of the day, and so there will likely be minimal action from here on. This Botswana safari is blowing my mind already, and it's still only our first morning in Khwai. We wouldn't have been able to track these lions if we didn't have a fantastic guide with us who understands the wildlife, their habits, and of course knows the area like the back of his hand. If you'd like to book your own Botswana safari, click the link in the video description and pin comment. It gives you the opportunity to get quotes from the very same tour operators who I used to organise my Botswana safari and who I highly recommend. After an extremely exciting morning, which has left me bursting with happiness, we decide to stop for a quick tea break on the banks of the Khwai River, in the company of some elephants. We then decide to head back to camp for a well-deserved lunch. What an incredible morning safari. We got to spend so much time with those lions, it felt so special. And maybe the most amazing thing about it was that we were with their own vehicle there. It was literally just us and the lions, and it's crazy how close they were coming to the car. Wow, what a morning. That is definitely a highlight of the trip so far. After lunch, we have some delicious freshly baked cake before heading out on our afternoon game drive. Our first sighting of the afternoon is this magnificent bull elephant. We watch as he feeds from the bushes only a couple of meters away from us before we move on. I had no idea that we were about to stumble upon something incredible. So we've just come across this kill in a tree here. A warthog kill, a leopard apparently caught it. I don't know how long ago, but about 20 minutes ago the leopard got spooked and has left, so we're just waiting here to see if he returns. It would be amazing if he did, because the kill's in such a great view and the lighting is so nice, so fingers crossed he comes back soon. The minutes turn to hours and the light starts to fade. After 2 hours have passed and the sun has set, I notice another car reversing. I look to see what's caught their attention, and suddenly I see him. A beautiful male leopard in his prime is sauntering through the Mopani woodland, purposefully making his way towards the kill. I can't believe our patience paid off. When he reaches the foot of the tree, he's in no rush to return to his meal and settles down for a rest. The light is fading fast, and soon we are surrounded by darkness and have to use a torch to be able to see our surroundings. I'm extremely grateful that this sighting happened in Khwai. Government-owned reserves such as Maremi don't allow night game drives. In private concessions such as Khwai, however, they are permitted. In a blink, he's up, bounding into the great leadwood tree, where his kill is safely stored. Leopards are the only large predator of Africa that are skilled tree climbers. As a result, they like to stash their food high up in trees, where opportunists like lions and hyenas can't reach them. The leopard settles down and resumes his warthog feast. The smell of the fresh meat is starting to attract some unwanted visitors. A hyena circles the base of the tree, searching for scraps. The hyena's presence is unnerving the leopard, and so he desperately tries to reposition the kill, hoping to secure it so that it doesn't fall from the tree. The hyena doesn't miss the meaty package that has fallen from the tree and rushes in to feast. Satisfied that the warthog is now secure, the leopard continues his meal. As I sit here watching this leopard feast, I feel like pinching myself. This moment honestly feels like a dream. I'd come to Botswana with the hopes of seeing Africa's predators, including leopards, but never in my wildest dreams would I think that I'd get to witness a magnificent leopard eating a fresh kill in a tree and have such a clear view of it. This is definitely a bucket list sighting that has been ticked off my list. Leopards are the most elusive of Africa's big cats, and getting a good sighting of one is like finding a needle in a haystack. Right now, I feel very, very lucky, and so incredibly grateful to my guide for finding this gem of a sighting. Patience is definitely the name of the game when it comes to safaris. We were one of only 2 vehicles to be waiting here when the leopard arrived. Many vehicles then came and went as the leopard started to feed, only staying for a few minutes each. Now, after watching the leopard for an hour, we're the only ones here. As well as the hyena, of course. We decide to leave the leopard to enjoy the remainder of his meal by himself and go in search of some more of Botswana's nocturnal wildlife. The first creature we encounter is this hippo outside the water. They come outside the water at night like this to graze. And then we come across what looks like a miniature kangaroo. This adorable critter is a spring hare. We also spot 2 bush babies, but they're so fast I'm unable to get them on camera. Followed by yet another spring hare. We actually saw 4 of these little guys in the end. After a long and exciting day, we head back to camp. After today's events, I absolutely cannot wait to see what tomorrow has in store. We head out bright and early again, catching this magnificent sunrise. We decide to head back to the leopard tree to see if the leopard is still there. All is looking quiet, so we decide to journey elsewhere to see what Khwai has in store for us in another part of the concession. The Khwai River is teeming with life. We spot some common reedbucks, a yellow-billed stork, numerous lechways, and even some zebras. We drive on into the morning, the hours passing by. It's incredible how some days can be so full of action, whilst others, like today, can be strikingly quiet. This makes our sightings of the lions and leopard yesterday feel even more special. We have a quick tea break on the banks of the Khwai River before we traverse the bush once more. We spot some adorable dwarf mongooses, and then on the other side of the river we spot our 2 lionesses from yesterday. So they did cross the river in the end. They're clearly not going anywhere anytime soon, and so we return to camp for some lunch. Now is a good time for a kitchen tour. This is the kitchen. What have we got cooking?
This is the oven. So there is a vegetable boboti inside, and then
oh wow,
one. Yes.
That's amazing.
Yep.
And this is...
That's where we boil our water for the showers. And then, as you see in our vehicle there, we've got the fridge that is at -40. And then that is the cooler box, yeah. That's where we keep our vegetables. This is the bread just after baking.
Did you bake it?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
Yes.
In the oven?
In that oven, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
amazing.
Wow, yes. And then, so these blue trunks, that's where we keep our dry ingredients, yeah.
This is great. This afternoon, we head out for a completely new activity, passing this snoozing hippo on the way. This afternoon, we are taking to the water in a traditional makoro, which is a little boat, and we're going out with these guys here. We're going to be our polars for the day. We're going to get to see Okavango Delta from a different level, from the water, going through channels which are not accessible by road. I'm excited for my boat ride. We are going with polars who have been in the Okavango Delta their whole lives. I asked them how long they've been doing it. They said since they were 9 years old. Oh.
You manage.
I am in. This is a comfy boat.
It's very comfy, right?
Much comfier than a canoe. It isn't long before we encounter some wildlife. Up ahead is a group of 3 bull elephants drinking from the tributary. It feels incredible to see them from the water, where they suddenly look far bigger than they do when we see them from our high vantage points in a vehicle. The lack of car engines also makes this sighting incredibly peaceful. On the opposite end of the spectrum, our polar somehow manages to spot this minuscule little frog, which I never would have noticed. And then an uninvited guest hops into one of our canoes. There's a leech. Oh wow! Where is the leech? Oh my.
Yeah, I see him. Oh god, wow, he's wiggling. Oh my god, that's terrifying.
Are you going to kick it out? The boat? He's a stubborn guy. He's super slippery and proves a challenge to get hold of, but eventually he is evicted back into the water and we can continue our journey. The Makoro ride is incredibly tranquil. The delta lazily passes us by whilst the rippling of water and the singing of birds fills the air. Our polar then finds what he calls a water pistol. Did you squeeze it out?
Yeah, you see.
Let's see.
So firstly, what you did, you cut the yellow part out.
Yeah.
And then after that, you just press like this.
Oh my god, it went everywhere. And then our polars surprise us by making us beautiful water lily necklaces. Amazing. This looks so pretty. Got a little gift. Let me put it on. Oops. Oop. There we go. And it smells so good. Beautiful. After 2 hours on the water with a brief halfway stop to stretch our legs, we return to our vehicle and as the sun starts to set, we head out on a night game drive. As darkness falls, we notice the bulk of a large male elephant passing us, barely visible without a torch. We drive into the night and come across this small spotted genet in a tree. I am incredibly excited to see this little guy and hold my breath as he scuttles down the tree out of sight. Our next sighting is this skittish scrub hare. We then head back to camp for a delicious dinner before venturing to our tents for the night. But the night's excitement is not over yet. At 3 in the morning, my camera trap caught this curious hyena heading in and then out of our campsite, likely looking for food scraps. It's another early start. As we head out on our morning game drive, we notice lots of dust hanging in the area. We soon discover the culprits. A large herd of buffalo are on the move. They fix us with intense stares before vanishing into the Mopani woodland. We drive on, passing this elegant giraffe and a pair of warthogs. Before we come across this lone hyena.
Good morning. It is very chilly today. I swear every day it feels a little bit colder, but now the sun has risen and it's starting to kill off the chill. Yeah, we've gone to the east part of the park today, seeing what we can find here, and yeah, I'm excited to see what we encounter on our way.
This part of Khwai is known as the Dead Tree Forest. As I look around, it's easy to see why. These trees were killed by elephants who stripped their bark away, cutting off their lives. The result is this desolate and eerily beautiful landscape. On one of the dead trees, a juvenile harrier hawk tries to steal the eggs of a lilac-breasted roller. We're unable to make out the outcome as he soon flies away. We then encounter this male giraffe, intruding on another male's territory. The dominant male is not impressed and saunters over. Suddenly not feeling very bold, the intruder takes flight. Followed by the dominant male. So far, we have been fortunate enough to see lions and a leopard in Khwai, but we still haven't come across any signs of cheetahs or wild dogs. I'm hoping that our luck at finding these elusive predators changes soon. As we meander through the dead tree forest, we find a herd of elephants, with some adorable young calves amongst them. It's incredible how a seemingly dead landscape can be so full of life. The group is likely heading to the Khwai River for a drink, but they don't miss out on the opportunity to forage for some food on their way. Elephants are proving to be the stars of the show this morning as we soon encounter this male who is carefully stripping leaves from a tree. It's really incredible to see how he tightens his trunk around the branch and accurately pulls away all the leaves. On our way to the Khwai River, we notice some animals running up ahead. I take a closer look and see they are 2 black-backed jackals. The Khwai River never ceases to provide some interesting sightings, such as this squacko heron riding atop a hippo, and a large Nile crocodile basking in the sun. We enjoy our morning tea in the company of a herd of water bucks. Before driving alongside the river. A large group of elephants are here, enjoying a drink and a refreshing dip in the river. There is a tiny baby amongst them who is having heaps of fun, rolling around and being goofy. My heart is melting as I watch its playful antics. There's a deceased elephant on the other side of the river. Our guide tells us that this elephant likely died of natural causes. Older elephants spend lots of time at the river where the grass is soft and often pass away in their favourite spot. Right in the middle of the herd is a crocodile, relaxing on the riverbank. The elephants either haven't noticed it or simply don't feel threatened by it. Close by is a mother hippo with a young baby of her own. I have never seen a baby hippo before, and I'm delighted as the adorable youngster plays in the water. After a lovely couple of hours by the river, it's time to head back to camp for some lunch.
Good afternoon. After our morning game drive, we've just come back to camp, had a lovely lunch, and then I've had a nice few hours of relaxing and sunbathing. And now we're about to have a cup of tea before heading out on an afternoon game drive. Now, the plan tonight is to go and find a hyena den and see if it's active. I hope we see some little hyenas. Let's see how it goes. Tea and chocolate cake.
We drive straight to the den, and as soon as we arrive, we see that we're in luck.
So we've just arrived at the hyena den, and already we've seen 2 hyenas. We saw 1 adult and then 1 cute little baby. It's so adorable. I've never seen a hyena that small before. It's just hopping around between the 2 holes. I'm just going to wait here for a while and see what else occurs.
Just then, another hyena arrives. This hyena is also a youngster and saunters over to the den. I notice movement coming from the den entrance and spot the smallest hyena yet. This hyena cub is so young that it's still got its all-brown coat. Their coats tend to lighten at around a month old, so this cub must be less than a month in age. It's wonderful to watch the cubs of various ages interact with one another like this. Hyenas are incredibly misunderstood, often thought of as nothing but scavengers. In reality, they are skilled hunters and have a highly complex social system. They are caring animals, which I can clearly see here. The older cubs are keeping an eye on the younger ones and ensuring they don't venture far from the den. As we stay with the den, more and more older cubs start to arrive back. As the sun starts to set, we decide to move on, but as we drive, we come across an unexpected roadblock. I can't believe it. This mother hyena is transporting a cub which must only be a few days old. She must be moving it to the den that we were just at. As darkness starts to fall, we journey in the direction of camp, passing this nightjar on the way. We then find another vehicle which has got stuck in thick sand. We come to the rescue and manage to pull them out. We return to camp for our final night in Khwai. The following morning, our team is packing away camp. Whilst they pack up, there's just time for us to have a final game drive in Khwai. We once again head to the dead tree forest in the far east of the concession. Suddenly, we hear jackal alarm calls and notice billowing clouds of dust as a herd of zebra charge through the landscape. We set off so quickly to try to get a better view of what spooked them that I don't have a chance to film them.
I know what that is.
Yes, I can see.
From a car? I can see
No. It's like a cat or a cheetah or a leopard.
Wait, where?
A cheetah.
It's a cheetah.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Where is it? It's hard to see from here.
10 o'clock, 10:30. It's hard to see if you have some trees, but
Which trees?
10:30, dude.
I saw something
Yeah, but like-
walking before.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
I can see it. I see it.
Is that running away?
Yeah.
The second one.
There's two of them.
Yeah.
It was so incredibly fleeting and they were pretty far away, but we saw them. We've finally seen cheetahs in Botswana.
It is cold. Very, very cold. Now, we just saw two cheetahs attempting to hunt zebra. They were unsuccessful and then they ran away from us.
For the rest of the morning, we gradually drive further east, edging towards the exit of the Khwai concession. Our time here may have come to an end, but we still have one final stop on our Botswana safari. We're heading to Savuti, in the heart of Chobe National Park. This is our last chance to try to find the extremely rare African wild dog. I just hope we get lucky. Despite not seeing wild dogs yet, our time in Botswana so far has been nothing short of incredible. I've had some of my best ever lion and leopard sightings here in Khwai, and in Moremi I had the most memorable elephant experience of my life. You can watch my Moremi video here to find out what happened.